let's get the Brexit perspective from a top businessman, business leader, philanthropist, and founder of Phones for You is John Caudwell. He joins me now. Hi, John.
Hi, Mark.
John, you're the arch pragmatist, which is why you've been very successful in your business career. Has Brexit worked for you?
Well, for me personally, on a personal level, no, because I don't have any real trading issues that Brexit would be positive or negative on. But is it working for the country? Yes, I absolutely.
Now, we've lost the line to John. We'll get it back very shortly. I've got to say, the irony of losing a phone line to the founder of Phones for You is never lost on me. Delighted to say we've resumed our line to John Caudwell, business leader, philanthropist, and founder of Phones for You. Hi, John.
Hi. I'm not sure how much you caught of that, Mark, but in summary, yes, I think it's working. There's teething troubles. There's a long way to go, but the opportunities are massive. And as one of your listeners said earlier on, just look at the vaccine fiasco in the EU and imagine being a part of that, and look how amazingly Britain's done on that. So I think that is a good indicator of the difference between a power like Britain doing its own thing and this EU megalomania that then causes ultimate failure for everybody rather than success.
Well, it's funny that you should say failure, John, because that vaccine rollout was a test case for how the EU goes about policy and delivering policy, and it failed that test.
Exactly the way I see it, and it will always fail the test because there's all those member states with different views and all run by one central diktat in Brussels, and it's always going to fail on everything. So, I'm delighted to be out. And I know it'll be difficult for some businesses. Some businesses are facing some hardships for that, because of that, and for those people, I'm truly sorry. But overall, for the good of Great Britain and for the long-term good of everybody, I have no doubt that it's an extremely positive way forward.
Yes, and do you think that those teething problems, such as friction around the flow of goods into and out of the EU, and also tensions around the Northern Ireland Protocol, will be resolved, John? Does your experience for many decades in business tell you that solutions will be found?
Well, that's a complex question because this is not pure business, this is politics. And wherever you get politics, you get corrupt actions and corrupt views. And it's very, very clear that the EU need Britain to fail spectacularly, and we'll do everything in the power to try and slow Britain's progress down so that other member states don't think about leaving the EU. So it's crystal clear they'll do that. But if it was down to pure commercial reasons, then it's in everybody's interest to sort any of these difficulties out and to make the exports and imports backwards and forwards to the EU work. Because, at the end of the day, the EU have got an 80 billion trade surplus with Britain. They've got all the reasons to benefit from it. But, of course, it's the corruption of politics that they want to give Britain a bloody nose, want Britain to be seen to be a failure in the eyes of other EU countries. And, of course, that distorts the whole picture. So I can't forecast what's going to happen, except that I do believe we'll fight through. I do believe we'll be stronger. And as you already said, just imagine if we'd have been part of the EU vaccine debacle. We wouldn't be where we are today.
Yes, and we've seen, I've got to say, the EU Commission behave like a rogue state, threatening to erect a border between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland over the vaccine supplies row. They were going to blockade a factory in Belgium and tear up contracts. I mean, you can't do business with people like that.
No, and it is very dictatorial, and I do fear for the security of Europe when people are making threats like that. I mean, look at them threatening to cut off the power supply to the Channel Islands because they felt that the Channel Isles had not, or we hadn't reached quickly enough on setting the parameters for French fishing vessels. So, we can't have behaviour like that with our neighbours and countries that we're supposed to be trading with and we're meant to be friendly with, and it's just not the right rhetoric, it's not the right behaviour. But of course, it just comes back to the point that I keep emphasising, which is they are determined to beat Britain up in order to prevent any other member states thinking that they'll go the same way.
Now, you are behind a fantastic initiative which is called CPR, which I understand stands for Caudwell Pandemic Recovery. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct, Mark. Yes.
The brilliant campaign. More information on your Twitter, which is at John D. Caudwell. How important is it for our post-pandemic recovery that the Prime Minister lifts all COVID restrictions as soon as possible?
Well, I think that's absolutely vital, but it does, of course, have to be consistent with being able to do so. This Indian variant, well, we'll call it Delta variant now, but the Delta variant...
Delta Plus, it's got a lot of names.
Yeah. Well, it's a politically correct thing, and I agree with that, because we don't want to be engendering any racism out of the Indian name. But,
sure.
But the Delta variant is a bit of a disappointment, isn't it? Because we'd got it wonderfully under control, and then the Delta variant came in. I am a bit surprised, actually, that the government didn't clamp down on Indian travel before they did. And, and it's always easy to say with hindsight, but we did see the Indian cases going through the roof and still allowed Indian travel into the UK.
Well, I think, John, I agree with you. I think there is a case to answer there, and I'd like to find out more about why we dropped the ball when it came to those coming from India. But a quick final thought. You are an entrepreneur, and you know that nothing ever great in life was achieved without a bit of luck and a bit of a roll of the dice. And do you think the Prime Minister should consider lifting COVID restrictions early on the 5th of July to provide a boost to British business?
The short answer is yes, I think so. We need to get going again. Most of the people that were in any danger of being in intensive care and serious illness have now been vaccinated. So, yeah, cases might rise, but I wouldn't expect that there would be a significant increase in hospitalizations and serious cases. But, at the end of the day, we have to follow what the government think and what the scientists think. But I think I personally would be lifting them on that date, yes.
John, brilliant to have you on the show. If you want to find out more about the most remarkable project that John has developed, this COVID pandemic recovery, then go to his Twitter at John D. Caudwell. He's also on Facebook, LinkedIn and YouTube, and at John Caudwell on Instagram. Fascinating stuff.